Activision betting big on the esports explosion. The gaming company looking for a win as the stock is down nearly 47% from its October highs. It's Overwatch League season kicking off and touting a $5 million prize pool. Let's get to Josh Lipton in San Francisco with the details. Hey, Josh.
Melissa, it's a date video game fans have marked on their calendars, the start of a new season of Activision Blizzard's Overwatch League. 20 teams of video game players competing for a prize pool totaling $5 million. Activision is capitalizing on that red-hot trend of esports, which will attract an audience of 454 million this year, and revenue will grow nearly 30% to more than $1 billion. Sponsors for the Overwatch League include Coca-Cola, Toyota, and Intel. The matches will stream on the Overwatch website, mobile app, and Twitch channel. Select games will also air on ABC, ESPN2, and Disney XD. We asked the league's commissioner whether it would be smart to now offer the game itself for free. After all, wouldn't that mean that many more gamers playing Overwatch and then tuning in to watch the competition?
We think the business model that we have with Overwatch is the right business model for the game to create the right player experience where all of the content, all of the additional maps, all the additional heroes, all that stuff is free so that there's a great ongoing experience for our players.
Now, Bayard's Colin Sebastian says this league is a bright spot for Activision as the company deals with some challenges of its own. It recently announced, of course, layoffs of about 800 people. Sebastian says this league is not financially material for Activision right now, but it's a real long-term opportunity, he says. And he argues it's the best direct way for investors to play the esports theme, at least here in the West, more so than Take-Two or EA, which finished in the red today. They're up 30% so far this year. Melissa, back to you.
Josh, did you say 454 million viewers for this?
That's right. That's right. So that's according to Newzoo, which just recently put out a report. It says that global audience is going to reach 454 million. That would be a jump of 15%, Mel.
But that's overall esports, not this particular competition.
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah.
Right. That is overall esports. Correct.
Okay. Josh, thanks. Josh Lipton in San Francisco. So is the esports bet enough for Activision, Tim?
Well, the competition is insane, and ultimately you're only as good as your last release, and I think that's what's going on here. The valuations, if you look at ATVI, you're somewhere around 17, 18 times. I mean, the valuation to me is extremely attractive. The question is really just how relevant are they? I don't think they're that far out of the game. In fact, the stock's though been grinding lower for the last 3 months, and you know, I'm not sure what's going to break it out of this range. Whereas EA, we've seen at least over the last couple of days, you got some news on the new release, which was very bullish, almost overnight changed the prospects of the company.
Josh had mentioned all the different channels that some of this Overwatch League competition is going to be aired on.
So Guy mentioned earlier in the show when we were talking about Facebook, until advertisers find some place to go, then Facebook is okay. Well, 455 million viewers with the demographic that you want, to me, seems like you want to buy Disney on this. It's going to be playing on Disney XD. It's going to be playing on ESPN2. The problems perhaps with ESPN are behind them. I think this is a much better way to play the esports explosion than trying to bet on the next hit out there.
Each Friday at 5:30, where are you?
I'm just right here in this seat.
Right, and as fate would have it, this past Friday I was on the options.
You were right there in that seat.
Well, it's a great show, but everybody should watch. But Mike Coe pointed out a bearish trade in Activision, if you recall. And yes, valuation is compelling, but it has not traded particularly well. There's no bounce in the stock. I personally think it trades the levels we last saw sometime in 2016, 33.5. Conversely, Take-Two, around the same valuation, maybe a little bit more, bottomed out at the same level we bottomed out March of last year, $90 or so on huge volume. If we're playing the game,
would you rather?
I would rather.
Apparently we are. Apparently we are.
Take-Two.
You're playing alone.
Which you just did.
Would rather.
Would you rather?
Do that right there.
Brian brought up the fact that, you know, maybe the media companies are a way to play this because they need to be here and they've already decided to be here. I would just point out, I agree with them. But I would point out this news on Disney, on being on ESPN2, et cetera, for Overwatch. That's old news. I mean, you know, this is. I attended one of those events at the Barclays Center where actually Disney was actually simulcasting. So to count on this being a driver, we really need to see that the viewership goes up. And I think, again, I think these guys are only as good as their last game, and Fortnite is really the death knell for everybody.
You're saying it wouldn't be a driver for Disney in terms of watching, but I just wonder. I mean, you hear that kind of audience, and you think, how can this
in total for all esports around the world?
Right. How could they not want to be? How could an Activision or
not want a piece or
it is a driver for Disney,
right? It's
My point was that for Activision, it's not. I mean, we know that they're televising these games. And that was a great story 6 months ago.
But aren't they a target, is what I'm saying? Shouldn't they be a target for media?
That's what people are saying. And
but it doesn't
target for an advertiser or for a Disney?
For the company.
Right.
Takeover target.
I mean, the problem is, to me, Disney's the perfect person to take over these games because it's just like a movie. The problem is the games that are popular.
Would you wear merch?
No,
would you wear
what do you mean?
Like a mask.
Are you saying I don't already?
Something.
I mean, this shirt I just wear on TV.